all that English simply means, Lagos State government and business people work together better to make Lagos a great place to do business. Shikena, that is all the English we are speaking this morning. And joining us to have this interesting conversation is Feyisayo Alayande. She is the Executive Secretary of Lagos State Employment Trust Fund. So youth, are you watching? Hold her.
I love it. Hold me mercifully.
Okay, hold her mercifully.
Oh, good morning. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy 2026.
Happy New Year. How is 2026 treating you? I'm throwing back at you now.
It's going very well. It's been quite peaceful. I'm thankful for that.
We're thankful
for that.
And
yes.
work?
Yes, work's going very well. Very well as well. Thank you.
Let's go straight into the business of the day. People would like to know why it is important for government and business partners to be in sync.
I like that you started with that question because that's the basis for being here.
Yeah.
Good morning again, Lagos. My name is Feyisayo Alayande, LSETF Executive Secretary. It's funny you ask that question because I always ask people, when you're a resident of Lagos, you want Lagos to move forward. It doesn't matter who's at the helm of driving Lagos forward. It's everyone's responsibility. So when I start a conversation like that, we're coming in, being on the same page, being on the same side. Okay. Right? So we all want to make a difference in Lagos State. We want to make sure that the next person sitting next to you has a right to be on the table and have a seat on the table. So that's really the basis of most of our conversations. And then we start then by saying, if you understand that, and you understand LSETF's objective and mandate, which is to ensure that we create an environment for jobs to thrive and give everyone that's an entrepreneur or an employee access to a job, then the conversation starts with your partners. So it's ultimately understanding that we all have a part to play in taking Lagos forward and making sure that our communities are positive and are thriving. Okay. So that's the starting point, really.
Okay, we have small businesses, medium-scale businesses here in Lagos. Let's talk about how effective partnerships between the government and these small businesses have helped them thrive. And then from your experience at the LSETF, what types of partnerships have proven to be better or productive for these small scale businesses?
So it's such a heavy question, so I will have to take us back to some of our programs and use specific examples. So when you talk about supporting MSMEs, we have 5 interventions by which we do that. And I think I've shared that before, but I'll just do a recap very quickly. So we realize that support comes in different forms, right? So we look at access to finance, access to infrastructure, access to market, access to capacity building, and all of these access technology, all of these interventions help us understand where to go to address issues of our MSMEs. Now, where partnerships come in is, if we look at all of those 5 pillars, almost look at our MSMEs here, LSETF helping them rise, and then our partners. If you look at it that way, you see that everyone is driving towards the same cause for our MSMEs. So if I take an example of access to infrastructure, last year we partnered with 360 Hub in Yaba, and if everyone is not aware of that, it's a hub where the creative sector can come and work for a fee. If you think about MSMEs in the creative space, look at fashion, for example. They will tell you their biggest issue, and please, nobody should quote me wrongly. I read, and one of our research proves that for MSMEs in fashion space, up to 60% of their costs is on energy. So whether it's solar panel, whether it's diesel, whether it's generator, 60%. So this dress you're wearing, somebody could have priced it 60% lower, as an example. But because they have to pay for power, it's not expensive. So we said to ourselves, hang on, why don't we find a way to provide that infrastructure once? But anyone in that space, anyone in that community can approach that hub and work on that space for a small fee. So we pay a fee on a daily basis or a fee on a weekly basis. So that was a critical point for us, and that's what we call our job hub. So we launched that last year in October with 360 Hub, and we're proud to report that we've had so many entrepreneurs go in there to use the space, and it's just a token of what that partnership could do, because the reality is any other partner, you could say to me that yes, I want to sponsor 5 fashion designers to go and work on that space. So everyone knows that you can go to this hub to work off. So that's an example, and that was access to infrastructure. Another is access to market. We actually had pop-up market in July last year, which was a very successful one. We supported over 100 MSMEs to actually showcase their products in JJT Park in Alausa. Union Bank, we did that with Eco Bank, we did that with quite a few other partners that actually could pull together to make sure that these MSMEs have a place to showcase their products. And we had so much fantastic feedback, sold out, increase in income by 50%, you know. So those are the interventions we do. But the truth is we can't do it alone, even with public partners and private partners. So for example, SPAC gave us a space to actually showcase that and show what Lagos State is doing in terms of actually hearing from MSMEs what their issues are and addressing them through our programs and interventions. So those are some of our examples.
Okay, I like where you just landed that because you were
if
able.
you leave me, I'll land on different.
Yes, so you were able to highlight the major challenge of business owners, and you just said something now that you know that government has been able to also intervene in some of these challenges, but there are other challenges.
Yes, absolutely.
Not as big as energy. I'd like you to also talk about them so that those entrepreneurs that are watching and listening to us now can also feel
absolutely
included in this conversation.
So access to finance is one that always comes up,
but that is where you come in,
and that's where we come in in terms of access to capital. So we give our loans at 9% single digit rate, and the Governor Sanwo-Olu has said we have to retain it at that rate. So it means that if I was to do the math very quickly to help everyone understand, if you're taking a loan from us today, you're paying 0.75 back every month for the duration of that loan. And it's something that we tell people that provided you meet the criteria, which is very easy, you're a resident of Lagos, you have a business and you have an idea that you want to see grow, you actually are keeping good records of your transactions, you have a positive credit history, and your KYC details are done, you can apply, and it's open to everyone in Lagos State. You don't need to know anybody. But then the resources are limited, as I'm sure you understand. The government cannot do the partners. So actually say, if there's any partner out there that can also lend at this rate, whether it's your CSR budget, whatever the case may be, we have proven it. And this number is going to shock you. When I started at LSETF, I think we're just under 90% collection rate. As of last year, we're at 94% collection rate, which means every money we're putting out there, 94% is coming back. And the 6%, we're still going after them. We actually say, just let us know what your issue is, why you can't pay back, and we work with you to restructure it. But we've proven it that you can lend clean to MSMEs, provided you give them information up front of what they need to provide, and then you work with them to ensure that they pay back at single digit. So we're always calling on partners to do that, and I'm really hoping that this message goes out there, that the partners will come forward to actually help us lend clean to MSMEs. But I think access to finance is one that always comes up top for us.
There's a new title which commenced just last week. Yes, January. No, we couldn't have started January 1. January 2. I started January 2. And business owners have always complained of multiple taxation, and this affects their businesses. Where does this, or how does this new tax law now help this business persons?
So it's funny you ask this, because I was still having a conversation with the chairman LRS just day before yesterday to say, look, we want to put a session together with the help of my team, almost like a boot camp or advisory session for MSMEs to understand how do the new tax laws affect them, because they don't know. But one thing I always say to people is that depending on how much you earn, just keep a good record of your transactions. Keep a good record so that you are clear what's coming in and what's going out. But I would encourage any MSME, look out on this space. We're working with LRS to put together some form of FAQs that can help, and then also create some advisory session where people can come and ask questions, and we can distill any myth and ensure that there's correct information out there. So that's
misconceptions.
as much as I can share for now.
I want you to really expatiate on the partnerships and entrepreneurs, especially for new entrepreneurs. So I want to understand, is it that LSETF connects partners with these business owners, or how does it go?
So it depends on the angle you're coming from. So the scenarios I described earlier on for access to market and, say, for example, access to finance, access to infrastructure, those are own stakeholders and partners that we work with to provide X. But we do have another type of partnerships, and we call them our volunteer network. And shout out to everyone that has supported LSETF. We have over 100 volunteers, well-meaning Lagosians like yourself, who say, I'm a subject matter expert in X. I'm happy to come to help you to provide Y to your beneficiaries. So that's a different type of partnership. And these volunteers help us with our master classes, advisory sessions, providing mentors for our businesses, because we speak to some businesses today and finance is not the issue. It's how do I structure my business? And we say, well, if you come to us, we understand the position your business is at, we find you a mentor that can help you shape that business to then be more sustainable and more successful.
This service is free.
They're free. We don't charge for that. We don't charge for advisory sessions. We don't charge for our master classes. None of that. We just make sure that you show up, you show out when you say you would. So, because if you don't show up, you're denying somebody else of that service. So our volunteers are very, very part of our partnership model in terms of providing mentorship, advisory session, master classes to our MSMEs. Another example that we also put out there and we also leverage on is, if you look at our tech ecosystem, we have a program called Lagos Innovates, where we serve as a conduit between the funders and founders in Lagos State across any value chain in tech, whether it's agri-tech, whether it's ed tech, health tech. There's so many these days, fintech as well. And we actually have these businesses stay together for 8 weeks. There are 10 sessions, there are 10 master classes, and we provide people that can give them certain training. So a classic one that is very good is a legal master class. And shout out to our partners in Templars, Bangun, Igudalu. They give free master classes to these tech enthusiasts. And normally, if they're going to charge for this, like $2,000, $3,000. But because it comes through LSETF, they get free access to that. And they then understand, how do I protect my business to ensure that this is my idea, nobody goes to copy it. You cannot quantify that kind of free training. And at the end of it, they get to do a pitch day where they present to potential investors who can then buy a stake in that business. That's all a partnership model. That entire 8 weeks is partners that come in to support us, to help us ensure that these businesses in tech are supported. So that's another example as to how our partnerships have helped us grow and support businesses in Lagos State.
So for those in the informal sector, because not everyone is tech savvy,
of course,
everyone can read and write, but they are good in business. So how do you also reach out to them? So, and thank you for that. So
for the informal sector, I think an example I should highlight that I know doesn't come ready to mind is when you apply for a loan in LSETF, we ask you things like, do you have a LASRA ID? And a partnership with LASRA has been very significant because LASRA automatically comes to that beneficiary, or we meet at a location, whether it's our liaison offices, LASRA is there, and then we can register that person. They don't have to do that registration more than once. Another example is, like I said, LRS, if you want to have a tax ID and stuff. So those are some of the partnerships that we do. But for the MSME that doesn't understand what is required, they attend our bootcamp session. And our bootcamp takes them through, how do you keep your records properly, for example? How do you ensure that this money that is for Ashwebi is not kept with money that is for buying stock? It takes it to that level of detail. But who are those that run the master classes? The last one we did was in partnership with, I think, EcoBank as well, Union Bank. Very, very interesting was AXA Mansard as well. They gave us some advisory sessions, insurance for the informal sector, literally saying if you insure your products as cheap as 60,000 naira a month, you can actually get certain coverage. But we won't be able to give all of those, we won't be able to put a price to all of those interventions because it will become too expensive. But we say if you sign up for our master classes for free, you can get access to all of these things, irrespective of who you are or what stage your business is at, provided you are a resident of Lagos. So that's an example by which we've actually supported even the informal sector. And we have some really good stories. People are telling us, you know, before I started the bootcamp, I had no idea how to keep a record of my transactions, and now I'm able to hire one person to help with my business because I can't do it alone. You know, we have so many good stories like that. So yes.
Okay, yeah, you just took the question out of my mouth. Anyway, I'm glad you've answered that. I want to talk about innovation and of course collaboration here. How can partnership work with, you know, innovations? Is there any point where government and businesses can, you know, work on new ideas?
So, you know, I mentioned the Lagos Innovates, right? And I will mention LSETF as well, because I'm actually a member of the LSETF Council. LSETF, so Lagos State Science Research and Innovation Council. And it's managed by the Ministry of Science and Technology as well. And what it does is actually gives grants to any novelty idea that's solving a problem in Lagos State. And the grants are anything from 1 million naira to, I believe, 5 million naira. But the whole idea is government and other members on the LSETF Council are private sector people as well, coming together to actually see what are these brilliant ideas, what is this solving for, how is it helping the community, and then they put money behind that to support that intervention. So that's an example how the government and private sector have come together, because that funding is government funding, but the idea to manage that is actually the private sector as well. And I know that there are times where the governor has called on other well-meaning Lagosians to actually support certain interventions that are life-changing. When I think about where Lagos was 4 or 5 years ago, a lot has happened. I'm even looking at the images behind you. We have so many, you know, trams and rail right now, and that's all collaboration with, you know, that's come up from government and private sector and external funders as well. So innovation is one that we would go really far if people work really well together. Another example that I should highlight, and is speaking to the informal sector, agriculture, for example. I know that with Ministry of Agri last year, we worked together with them on the Agro Innovation Hub, and it's so amazing. I get so excited, the amount of ideas that came out of those sessions. And a lot of the funding was obviously Ministry of Agri through the Commissioner, Honorable Abisola and her team, but then Sterling Back were involved as well, you know, and the ideas were amazing. One of the ladies that I can't remember her name right now, she actually collects shells from snail, and then actually refines it, and she's able to use that as some form of medicine. In some instances, they're actually able to mold it into certain devices that can be eaten. Like, this is from snail shells that people dispose of. The whole sustainability chain has been closed through that intervention. So those are some of the ways where innovation is supported actively through government interventions via the Ministry of Agri, and we worked on them on that in agri-innovation program. It's been 2 years now, and I'm hoping that we would work on that this year, 2026 as well. So anyone in agri and innovation, it's a good platform to plug into if you really want that support, provided you're changing and bringing out something new that's supporting your community in Lagos State.
Yeah. No, someone just said something I just quickly want to ask. Are women and youth-led businesses, you know, giving priority? Because it seems the men get most attention.
That's not true, and I would quote some numbers. I think last year we had 56% of our loans given to women. I'm not saying we're 100% women. I'm not going to say that. But we actually find majority are women. So there's some certain numbers that actually, it's not true. We actually support women. And the youth, we did some work with Ministry of Youth last year, and Diageo, one of our partners, were able to train about 250 youth in the hospitality sector, and we're working to place them in jobs. So, you know, I said we support entrepreneurs, and we also support people that are looking for work.
We place them in jobs.
Place them in jobs, yes. We know we wear two hats. So yes, we support the entrepreneurs, but we also support the non-entrepreneurs as well. We call them job seekers. And we partner with Diageo, and Diageo said, look, they're big on hospitality. Let's train them. Let's see what we can do. And they were working for partners of Diageo. They're working for other support system within the ecosystem of hospitality. And that was a successful partnership with the Ministry of Youth last year. Another example that I would be doing.
I like the fact that you're giving us examples, not just talk.
It's important, and I'm sorry, and I apologize if I don't mention any partner. Please, you bear with me, but LSETF.
Because you're not even allowed to mention partners.
No, it's not even adverts, but it's for you to realize that. You see that private sector, it's real. We're not making it up. That's all it is. It's real. We're not making it up. For our first time, we actually worked with the construction industry this year. And last year, 2025, and it was with Lafarge. And Lafarge came to us saying, look, we want to support people in construction. But guess what? It was all women. We actually supported only women, a program that was female tilers. Any female in construction was allowed to apply, and there was only women. And we supported about 50 of them and giving them access to tools for them to be able to work in the construction industry. That's an industry that is normally dominated by all men. But there are women now that are working in that industry. And it was free to attend for about 6 weeks, free training.
How much of all this information is out there.
It's out there on our social media. It's out there in every format you can think of. But maybe the feedback is we need to do a bit more to amplify, and that's one of my drive for my team this year, is to amplify the work we're doing. And thank you for the opportunity to come to this session today, because it's a classic example of how what we're doing is being put out there for people like yourselves to be aware, and Lagosians as well. But you see that partnership, we wouldn't do it without our public and private partners. Absolutely. And there's more to be done in 2026.
So partnership, collaboration is like the new currency.
It is. It honestly is. You can't do it alone. No man is an island. No woman is an island.
No woman. No. Thank you. Thank you.
Nobody's an island.
Nobody's an island.
I like the fact that she quickly changed it.
I changed it. Yes.
Okay, so for I also want to understand the role of business associations, especially with the artisans. They have their various associations, how you collaborate with them, and also supporting partnerships as well.
So LSETF, Lagos State Association of Trade and Artisans, they're a very, very big one for us, and they got introduced to us through our parent ministry, Ministry of Wealth Creation, and they basically are an association that pulls in any artisans within Lagos State, and they're such a structured association that everyone pretty much knows everyone. So whenever we have a program now, we actually reach out to them, say, look, we want your expertise, because they are the subject matter experts, whether it's bricklaying, whether it's tailor making, whether it's makeup, whether it's gilling, whatever service you can think of, they have an artisan that can support you, in that. So they're a prominent part. And when we lend to the members of associations, we actually realize that the repayment rate is higher. So one of our successful stories in the Tie and Dye Association, and I think it's over 90% collection, where we lend to them and we're able to collect from them, and anybody in the Tie and Dye Association is able to plug into that. So we have certain partnerships with LSETF that helps us drive and get our programs to the informal sector quicker within Lagos State. We're currently in about 28 LCDAs or 27 LCDAs in Lagos State, and if you go to any of these communities, you can actually see our liaison officers there. You have about 2 of them, and when people have questions about LSETF, they can't go online, but they want to see somebody, they're able to ask those questions. And sometimes people then have to hear from members of certain associations to actually believe that what we're doing is true. So yeah, LSETF is a good one for us, and we're quite proud. We actually have a partnership that's coming up soon with I won't mention a name, but an association focused on beauty, somewhere in Ikeja, and the whole idea is to create the hub model that we did last year with the fashion industry. We want to create that with the beauty hub, where anyone in the beauty space can approach and do, whether it's barbing, whether it's hairdressing, you can actually go there and work for that from that space for a small fee. And then there's training going on as well, and the associations are responsible for giving that training for free. So those are part of the interventions and partnerships that we have, and we're looking at that for 2026.
So for those who, because you said you connect businesses with partners, and then for those who are job seekers as well, you place them in jobs. For those that you place in jobs, how do you monitor their progress, or do you place them and just
no, we dare not. So the starting point is we upskill, we reskill. So we actually give training programs as well. So it's, just making sure that if you wanted to change jobs, or if you're unemployed, you can come to us, get a job, get a skill, and then you're then placed in jobs. So they kind of go hand in hand. And the reason for that is we realize that a lot of people, they have the passion, but they're not necessarily employable. So we always say that you're better off mastering your craft or reskilling, and then we throw in other soft skills. How do I conduct myself? How do I dress? How do I write an email? We add all of those soft skills that you would typically take for granted, communication skills, because those are the things that make you employable, and those are the things that make you stay in your job. And then we then check with the employers. I have my project managers who will then check on a 3-month basis, 6-month basis, depending on the length of the job, because some people it's internship opportunities they get, some people it's permanent jobs. But yes, we do follow up, because we need to tell their stories as well to ensure that if you are not able to retain that job, what went wrong, so we can effect the change in our next program, so that somebody else has a chance of doing things better. So we do follow up as well.
Character check.
So character check is one that we do as well, but believe it or not, it can never be 100% because you can never know anyone's true character.
Yeah,
but there's certain things that we go by. Integrity, for example. We make sure that you understand that you just have to be honest in what you're doing, and if you can't deliver on something, just speak up and say you can't do it. So we also have mentors as well who provide that oversight, because we understand that some people they need a bit more hand holding, so the mentors help them with that as well. So I think our employability programs with our partners, I know you said not to mention any more names, it's been a very successful one in the last 4 or 5 years. It's called our LSESP model. So it's Lagos State, LSETF employment model, employability program model. And it's basically where we work with vocational training centers. That's another partnership example. Because as I'm sure you appreciate, LSETF cannot do it alone. But we have the structure, we have the coordination, we have the expertise. We then work with VTCs, vocational training centers, who then give the training, but we work on the curriculum together, we follow through, and in some cases we even give stipends to make sure that people are encouraged to go for that training. And through this partnership with our VTCs, we're able to train, I think last count was about 20,000, and we've placed about 60% of them in jobs, and that ratio is going up. And these are people that are able to tell us, you know what, I actually was able to work. And some people then tell us, even after that job, I then started my business. So we've had people that have actually started on the job seeker side, then became employed, and then started entrepreneurship.
Sorry, I'm giving, but have you had people who you have trained who have succeeded and has come back to say, oh, I want to give back and support this cause?
Thank you very much. Those are the ones that sometimes form our volunteer network. Trust me. Not everyone comes back, but then some will come back and tell us, actually, I want you to use my story to influence other people, because I'm actually a testament of what Lagos State is doing through this program that I benefited from. So we have that.
We spoke about challenges earlier. Sorry, we have to go back to that.
No worries.
But those the challenges were about business owners. This challenge I want to ask you about is about LSETF itself. Since you do deal with a lot of funds and all, how has the agency been able to cope with economic pressures and of course FX, volatility?
So you mean us as LSETF or our beneficiaries?
Yes,
it's both. It affects everybody.
It affects everybody anyway.
It affects everyone. So we just make sure that we optimize as much as possible. From our end, we ensure that our resources stretch further and our partners help us close that gap. Because sometimes you budget this and then... Absolutely. In fact, and it's an ongoing battle. You're right, where you budget this, but then something happens. And we see it every day. We just find new and innovative ways to actually ensure we still deliver. Sometimes, believe it or not, costs go up every time. Even the cost of getting somebody to train on a particular program, their own resources have gone up, so they charge us a higher fee as an example. But we then bring in our partners to help us support us, and sometimes we have partners that will pick up certain bills just to help us ensure that we still deliver on those programs. So it's a mixed bag. And for our beneficiaries, yes, unfortunately people come to us and say, look, it's costing me twice as much to deliver the same service. So we work with them to see how we can restructure, we bring down whatever expectations they have shared out to their beneficiaries. So it's a mixed bag, but I must say it's affected everybody. We've all had to adjust.
Exactly.
We've all had to adjust and make do, and by God's grace we'll continue to thrive.
Okay, my own final question as we begin to wrap up now. What practical advice will you give to entrepreneurs listening today who want to build strong, long-lasting business partnerships?
I think the advice is in 3 parts. First one is speak up and show out. I don't care what anybody says. You are not alone. Speak up and ask for help. That's really it. The second one is mentorship and networking. People underestimate, and I don't know why. In the process of seeking for help, you find out that somebody has gone ahead of you and done that thing better. Leverage on them, run things by them. I have a mentor. My mentor has given me a task for January, and she said to me, I want to see your list of partners and what the drive is. I have a mentor, and I have a mentor on the public side and the private side. So how about you as an entrepreneur? And then the third one is, in terms of what we are doing at LSETF, we are there to support you. Whether it's access to market, whether it's access to infrastructure, whether it's access to finance, reach out to us. We would always be there to help you. www.lsetf.ng, I can plug my guys, right? That's how to reach out to us. So LSETF on any social media. And for partners out there, just reach out to us. Partnerships at lsetf.ng. We're always willing to help to ensure that every Lagosian is supported the right way.
So are there new partnership models Lagos businesses should look forward to from LSETF?
Partnership models, I don't think there's anything new to be honest, but what I would say is we're leveraging on both the private sector a lot more, leaning on them. We're leveraging on NGOs, we're leveraging on foundations as well. We're leveraging on our DFIs, both global and local. We've actually had some successful stories with global partners, even an embassy that have come and helped us to actually cross that bridge or close that gap when it comes to access to resources. But by God's grace, we'll continue to do that. And even with the Lagos State as well, we did some amazing work with so many MDAs. I think when we did a count, about 13 or 14 MDAs last year that we partnered with. So we're looking to partner a lot more this year. So you're going to see a lot more collaboration, even with us in Lagos State, in terms of ministries and departments and agencies, and then leveraging the private sector as well to deliver on our programs. At least those 5 core interventions I mentioned earlier on, we'll continue to push on those.
Yeah. Today's conversation has shown that no business can thrive in isolation. Like I said earlier, partnership collaboration is the new currency.
Yes.
And the Lagos State government is doing everything, possible to ensure that businesses thrive here in the state. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. Thank you very much. And I wish you
Alayande. I know you were waiting for me for that.
And I wish you an amazing 2026 ahead. It shall be a blessed one for us. Thank you so much. And thank you, Lagos, for having me.
The conversation continues. Stay with us.
I was robbed at some point. So I was inside a shop, all these Okada riders with all these Okada guys that robbed. They came pretending to buy drugs from a pharmacy, my neighbor's pharmacy shop that was sitting on, only for us to the woman tried to attend to them. Next thing, they brought our gun. We are robbers. Oh yeah, your phones. We knelt down there. People were moving around though. They thought that they were pastors that came to pray, that we were praying. They didn't know that we were being robbed. All the people that plugged their phone in that woman's shop, they took everything. That experience. Till they left us and entered bike and moved us. People around didn't know that we were being robbed. It was such a bitter experience. I can't forget that. That was my first day of seeing gun, live and direct.
Let the conversation continue. Let the conversation continue.
Many thanks for staying with us. I almost forgot where I was. Anyway, as Joy said earlier, partnerships, collaborations is the new currency, and it is essential, you know, in Lagos, that is the business hub of the nation. It is essential to keep this partnerships going.
Yeah, and you know, Lagos is a beautiful place where businesses thrive. You have a lot of people coming into this. I almost call Lagos a country, but if you look at it,
it's almost a
Lagos
country.
is mini Nigeria.
Over 20-something million in population.
Lagos is
a country.
Lagos is mini Nigeria. We are even bigger than some countries.
Yes, we're bigger.
Yes,
we're bigger than some countries.
And
I
we
do.
must give it to the government. Well, my guest yesterday said something. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago? He said, "The bigger the head, the bigger the headache." And you know, Lagos is just a small landmass with a lot of people in it, and the government is striving to ensure that everything is in place for businesses to thrive, for lives and property to be safe.
I don't know how they are doing it when they are not Professor Pella. May so rest in peace. But all the leadership of Lagos State government. Please.
They even find time
If I have like a special session in this in this program, I'll just use it to be say, "Well done, sir. Well done, ma."
Yes. Lagos has done very well for itself, and the people of Lagos too. Let's give it to the people too now. Lagosians are very, very energetic. They don't give up. They are the main hustlers. As long as you come to Lagos with something meaningful to do, because we have some people in Lagos, they have nothing to offer. Whether they will want to take. As long as you come to Lagos with something meaningful to do, you will make it.
Well done.
Lagos is the land of opportunities. There are so many opportunities in Lagos to
Bukola, you're part of
prosper.
our problems in Lagos.
What
Some
did you
people are
say?
watching you from outside Lagos now. They will go and pack their bags and they are coming to Lagos.
As long as they
Go
have
on
something
advertising.
meaningful
Go carry.
As long as they have something
Carry and be
meaningful
giving
to
our
offer.
leaders more work to do. Just go on. Continue.
You don't want them to come. They can come as long as they have something meaningful to offer.
Continue.
It is not about what you give to your state or to your country. Sorry, it's not about what your country gives to you. What are you giving to your country?
What
What are
do you
you
have
giving
to
to your
offer?
state?
Yeah, true.
Yes, so let's start from there. They can come. I have no problem with people coming to Lagos.
Yeah, I do.
Anyway, we are very accommodating.
It's more work. It's too
Let
much
us
work.
go.
It's too much work for our guys. It's too much work. They don't sleep. Okay.
Uneasy.
Lies the
It's
edge,
that where's the crown?
Thank you. And it's their job, and they are doing very well. So we just need to encourage them to do more. Let us pay our tax as at when due. Let us keep our environment. I'm very particular about the environment. Let us keep our environment clean. Please stop open defecation.
Environment correspondent.
Thank you. Now we have to go. Okay, this is where we draw the curtains on the program, the conversation today. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Bukola Taylor Cole. Like I always say on this program, life is beautiful. Stay beautiful, stay healthy, stay alive. Bye.
And I am Joy Olu. Enjoy the rest of your day.
And I am Adibimpe Omota. You're looking forward to tomorrow. Thank God it's Friday. Stay safe.
Enjoy.